somebody threatens me and threatens to come to my home and drag us out and jab us with a needle that contains poison, something has to be done about this guy. This is not a threat. This is just a warning that to come on TV and to tell the people of Ontario who do not want to be vaccinated with this shit into their arms. You can't come out and say, we're going to come to your condo, we're going to come to your apartment, to your house, and we're going to drag you out if necessary. That to me is a threat. And if I was you, I certainly wouldn't want to get up one morning and come walking out of my house without some kind of security around me. You don't do that. This form of government is not what we voted you in for, Doug Ford. And this is just a warning across your bow. And it's a pretty big bow. It's about a 600-pound piece of lard shit that needs to be dumped in the toilet and flushed. You need to be out of office, and you need to be out of office now. When you threaten the people of Ontario that you are going to come to our door and drag our family out, our kids out, our wife out onto the lawn and jab them with your garbage, you're looking for a fight. And I'm not one to start a war with somebody, but I sure like to finish it. And I'm sure there are millions of others with me. So as I said, it's not a threat. This is a warning to get back into your cage and shut the F up and do not come out again and threaten us. Because if you do, this is not a threat. I'm not one to threaten. It's a warning that if you come and drag our kids out and jab them with this, someone's going to come to your door and do the same thing to you. That's just a warning, Mr. Fat Ford.
People we have to focus on. These are the numbers just recently. So 80 plus in Ontario. Over 88,239 have still not booked an appointment. And as Karen was saying, we'll go right to their location, their area, their condo, their apartment, their house, if we need to. But what's concerning is 88,000 have not booked. From 75 to 79 years of age, over 108,000 have not booked. Over 70 years, 70 to 74, 279,000, almost 280,000 people have not booked an appointment. And 65 to 69, over 618,000 people have not booked an appointment. Folks, we need, if you have a loved one, if you have a mother, a father, a grandparent, please get them booked in. I can't stress this enough. As we see more vaccines.
NHS, tonight I've done my last shift on the bank. I resigned from my post, my permanent post, about 5 weeks ago. I can no longer be part of the lies and the corruption by the government, not by the NHS. I mean, I've absolutely loved working there and working with amazing teams, amazing nurses, amazing people, but silence is consent as far as I am concerned. The hospitals aren't full, the beds aren't full, beds have been shut, wards have been shut. I have questioned everything that's been going on for a long period of time. Vaccine rollout, vaccine injury, realising that it's an experimental agent that going to keep going because they need to actually use the lockdowns as an emergency medicine. So they have to keep the lockdowns going to make sure that people are getting vaccinated. There's no emergencies. The hospitals are not busy. They never have been. We've not seen flu. We always see flu every year. There's so many of us trying to speak out. There's so many of the colleagues that I've worked with are scared. They're scared of losing their job. That's what's going on. I'm now unemployed. I will start looking for a job. I've been trying so hard to reach out. I was on my own for a long period of time, and everyone now that I speak to states that they felt so alone, so scared. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not being part of it. My colleagues, they don't want to be part of it either. They don't want to be part of it either. I honestly don't know what else is going to stop this, because the vaccine rollout is going to be happening to our children. I have seen traumatic injuries from the vaccine. They're not getting reported to the yellow card scheme. They're treating the symptoms, not asking why it's happening. It's just treating the symptoms, and when you speak about it, you're dismissed. Like you're crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy, because every other colleague I've spoke to is terrified to speak out. They've had enough. They've had enough of the mask wearing. My head is splitting every shift from wearing a mask in a ward with six patients. I'm looking after 6 patients sometimes. I've been doing bank work. So I've been going around all the wards, and I can see in every ward they're treating this pandemic different. They've got beds shut in some wards and not in others. And then Nicola Sturgeon's on the television saying the hospital saved the NHS, but the beds are empty. Guys, this is not what it seems. So please, 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 listen. Nurses and doctors, pharmacists, paramedics, NHS 111, 24 workers, call workers, the doctors, GPs, physios, OTs, alternative therapy medicines. These people are coming forward, and we are all going to speak out. We are all going to speak out. We're going to speak the truth.
I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine yesterday. Nobody knows if this is the reason that all this stuff is going on, but started with chest pain, paralysis on my left side. I was rushed over via ambulance to Baylor, Dallas, where I have had numerous scans done. I have had about 8 seizures in the last 2 days. Never had a seizure before. They did find a 3-millimeter brain aneurysm. I am currently hooked up to my EEG so they can monitor my seizures.
It's funny how they've been telling everybody to go get the vaccine, go get the vaccine. Me personally, I didn't want the vaccine. I don't take vaccines. I've been working in healthcare for years. I worked in healthcare for 17 years, hands-on with patients, and I never got a flu shot. Never had any problems. I'm a healthy person. But as soon as I went and got the COVID-19 shot, this is what happened to me. They say I'm 1 in a million. Why I have to be that one? Y'all been through hell and back ever since I took that fucking shot. I got the Johnson & Johnson shot.
Yesterday we showed you this remarkable scene a policeman in a supposedly civilized country busting into an Easter service and attempting to close it down, which was in fact an illegal act by those coppers. In this case, the massed ranks of the constabulary didn't measure up to one determined pastor, and he cast them out of his church.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property. Immediately out. Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property. Immediately out. I don't care what you have to say. Out. Out. Out of this property, you Nazis. Out. Out. Gestapo is not allowed here. Immediately, Gestapo is not allowed. Out! Do you understand English? Get out of this property. Go. So go. Go. And don't come back without the warrant. Out, Nazi. Out. Out. You understand? Nazis are not welcome here. Out. And don't come back without the warrant. Do not come back without the warrant. You understand that? You're not welcome here. Nazis are not welcome here. Gestapo is not welcome here. Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths. Unbelievable, sick, evil people. Intimidating people in a church during the Passover. You Gestapo, Nazi, communists, fascists. Don't you dare coming back here. Can you imagine those psychopaths? Passover, the holiest Christian festival in a year, and they're coming to intimidate Christians during the holiest festival? Unbelievable. What is wrong with those sick psychopaths? It's beyond me.
That preacher joins us now, Arthur Pawlowski. Pastor, it is great to see you. You're joining us from Calgary, where those nice Canadian police suddenly invaded. And you basically, through the sheer force of your personality, threw them out of the temple. And it was a wonderful thing to see those guys retreating down the stairs. What's interesting is you grew up behind the Iron Curtain. And what happened to you over Easter is exactly, I take it, why you didn't want to stay behind the Iron Curtain.
That's exactly, sir. Thank you so much for having me. I grew up under communist dictatorship, behind the Iron Curtain, under the boot of the Soviets. And I'm telling you, that's no fun at all. It was a disaster. Police officers could break into your house 5 in the morning. They could beat you up, torture. They could arrest you for no matter what reason they would come up with. There was a famous saying in Poland when I was growing up by the police: "Give me a man and we will find something on that man." So it was like a flashback when those police officers showed up at my church. Everything kind of came back to life from my childhood, and the only thing I could do is to fend off the wolves as a shepherd, and I used my voice to get rid of them. They were illegally encroaching on our rights during the most holy days, during the Passover celebration. How dare they? The audacity of those people coming. It was a shocking thing. I was a little bit shaken, but I did what every shepherd right now on the planet Earth should be doing: fend off the wolves. We as lions should never bow before the hyenas, and that's what they are right now.
Well, the hyenas are fairly confident in their powers, and a lot of the things that have become accepted in the last year, for example, New York police kicking a woman to the ground because she's not wearing a mask, governors of American states and Canadian provinces telling you whether you're allowed to have your granny or your aunt over for Christmas or Thanksgiving. I mean, that is the kind of tight 24/7 control that most communist countries lived under for half a century from the end of the Second World War. Is it all beginning to look worryingly familiar to you, the way people accept it?
Yes, it is. I have been warning Canadians for the past 16 years that that's what's coming. I could smell it. I could see it at every corner. The implementation of what we are seeing now, it started way about 20 years ago. So growing up under communist dictatorship, I mean, that's a disaster. That's hell on earth. And I see it already in our Western democracies. So the only way I know how to fight them is 1981, that I witnessed millions of Poles taking to the streets and saying to them, no more, get out of our country, get out, stop. Millions of Poles took it to the streets during Solidarity, Lech Wałęsa, and they want their freedom. Right now, if you want your freedom back, because we have to remember, history is teaching us that those people will never give up their new gained powers. You gotta demand those rights back. You have to fight for your rights. They'll never give it back to you freely. So how to do it? Get them out of your properties, out of your businesses, out of your churches. Open up, open the churches. Clergymen should unite and start pushing this darkness away. And we should come and take to the streets and say no more lockdowns, no more restrictions. We will not put up with this anymore. We are fighting back.
Well, thank you for that, Pastor. That is very inspiring. I would love to see a Lech Wałęsa 1981 size demonstration on the streets of a Western city. It would be very heartening.